This video contains spoilers. Finally came out the Superman, marking the beginning of the new DC universe in cinemas. Only with this film we can already see a little of this universe established, with heroes and villains. As the heroes on the wall of the Hall of Justice, know all details, references, connections with the comics, a complete analysis on all the hooks for the future, with details like the meta-humans already exist in this universe, 300 years. The connection with the comic, Superman Red and Blue, the contrast between Krypton's parents of Kel and the parents of the Grounders. So get comfortable there that this video will be good. Established universe. As it has been confirmed, this universe will be already established, with heroes, team formed, and villains. The film begins with a text contextualizing that the first meta who appeared 300 years began a new era of gods and monsters, the name of the first chapter of the universe. Until then, in this universe, the heroes are as if they were financed by large corporations and companies, as the Justice Gang, which is not the official name, is a name created by Guy Gardner that very likely must become the League of International Justice, and consequently the future Justice League, is very much the face of James Gunn to make a team like the International Justice League. The dynamic situations are very funny in comics, that is funded by Maxwell Lord, who also funds the Justice Gang here. In the end, Metamorpho joins the team. The Justice Gang base is the Hall of Justice that is under construction, that it is the old base of the Society of Justice. I believe that James Gunn is mixing concepts for this universe. Seriously, every member of the Justice Gang was very important, and did something for the plot. Mr. Terrific with all his intelligence was fantastic. The way he solved everything with intelligence, totally faithful to the comics. And that's what the character is in the HQ, is always the mixture of muscles and intelligence. Fair play as it is in your jacket. The Guy Gardner with classic HQ's hair, and that idiot personality so good that generates really funny moments. The scenes in which the Hawkeye woman appears are very good. All personages help in the film somehow. All the characters in the film shine at some point. Even the shapeshifter helping Superman by creating a mini-sun to help Superman out of the pocket universe. But seriously, for me, what shone the most was Mr. Officer. That scene to the sound of 5 Years' Time was incredible. The best Superman of cinemas. This may not be the best cinema Superman, but certainly is the most faithful to the comics. The Superman who fights, but also worries about saving the civilians. It's very good to see this kind and heroic Superman. Not wanting to kill the kaiju and take him to an intergalactic zoo is very good. Is really the essence of Superman out. All the visual of this film, totally colorful and fanciful without fear of being comics. Definitely the most comic movie ever made. The interaction of Superman with other heroes is very good. The entire climate of the planet daily being a newspaper, a desire to see a series going on in that place. As if it were The Office set on the Daily Planet. Too bad we had little space for the Clark Kent side in the film. The chemistry of Lois and Clark is very good. All this interview over the consequences of Superman having interfered in the War of Baravia shows well as Lois does not get carried away by the fact that he is a powerful alien, and makes clear how she challenges and compels him in how he deals with Superman's actions. After all, he is a beginner Superman, very naive with people since he started acting as Superman. 3 years ago he revealed himself to the world as the last son of Krypton. Well, that visual, the Fortress of Soliod, is incredible. Honestly, for me, this is the best Fortress of Soliod in cinemas. The most faithful and fanciful comparison with comics. As it should be. For me, this film hits full in the visuals with this fantastic aesthetic and playful. And what to say about Krypton? The puppy that stole the scene in several moments. This idea of portraying Krypton as a playful and messy dog is simply genius. And all that aesthetics I talk about very much suits Krypton. The collar with the golden emblem and the cover is pure comics. And this aesthetic is also especially in the Superman costume, and especially in the well-colored costume with saturated colors. Some people hated this costume, saying that it is very childish and exaggerated those lines around the suit. I confess that in some parts are exaggerated and did not need in some parts. But the colors, the red underwear, and the yellow symbol on the cover, but we haven't had since Christopher Reeve's Superman. For me, I think this beautiful costume, and for this first movie, fits well with the aesthetics of the film, and nothing prevents in the future we have other costumes for this Superman. And for those who think that movie is very childish, seriously, these people don't know comics? It's not because the film is too colorful that it is comic. The essence of Superman is this: an alien, growing up with humans and learning to be human. The Superman of Henry Cavill may be super powerful, that does not bleed but convince. That is not the real Superman of the comic. Can even be cool visually. That's far from being a movie that keeps the essence of the character. I really think epic and give this Superman, but it is not the Superman of HQS. He misses is afraid, but always seeks a foot in front of the other, and make the best possible decision because that is being human. He really is an alien. That was raised by human beings. Kansas, simple farmers. And that brings us to the next topic.
No matter what you do to me, Luther.
Contrast of parents. A point of the film that has generated much discussion on the internet is about Superman's father on Krypton, Jor-El and Lara. When Lex Luthor goes to the fortress, gets some evidence to arrest Superman. The engineer invades the computer and gets it. Save the rest of the message that had been lost on the path from Krypto to Earth. From the beginning, the Menagem said to Superman, "Be good, hope, and serve humanity." And since then, the Superman used this message as his motivation to recover. Lex Luthor delivers the message to Midea. The other part says for Superman to rule the Earth without mercy. Kill all who oppose and pass on the Kryptonian DNA. And after that, he is left without but what to do. Desolate and wondering who he really is. For until that moment he thought his purpose on Earth was to be a defender. When he discovers that it was for him to be an oppressor and not a protector of the oppressed, he is unbelieving and wondering who he really is. I for myself think it must be something misunderstood there. I doubt that is even the message. The film makes it clear that the message is true, but the only people who deny are Lex Luthor and Mr. Terrific. Maybe some alien technology that a human would not be able to identify. As I said, I doubt that it is. I believe the future they will deny and say that it was not quite so. James Gunn has already said that this is the message and he will not change, but I doubt it. But a very interesting thing of the film is the contract of the farmer parents of Superman and Kryptonian parents. The film makes a clear parallel with, at the beginning, Superman seeing the message from his Kryptonian parents, and at the end videos of their parents from Earth, making it clear that the Superman is who he is not for what he was meant to do. And yes, for his attitudes and choices. And his creation is a Kent. He is what he is by the father of the Earth, and not by the Kryptonian parents, and is in a conversation with your parents. Johatham and Martha Kent, from which he has drifted ever since he started acting as Superman. And this dialogue was directly inspired by the HQ Superman Red and Blue issue number 5. In this HQ, Jonathan will ask for help to the priest after having rescued baby K-Hel from his spaceship, because he did not know how to take care of the child, while he was a humble farmer. And then the priest recites the passage from when Jesus came out of the water and says, "This is my son that I love and makes me proud." From there, the HQ shows several moments of Jonathan saying to Clark, "I love you, you're special, you make me proud." And at the end of the HQ, we see Superman saying these same phrases to people, the poor, the lost, all, i.e., Superman is so kind that he is demonstrating the memso love of their father with people. And this is so beautiful in a way that moves. And it is clear that this HQ was chosen as the main message of the film, that Superman is who he is by the parents of the Earth, and not by the parents Kryptonians. And it is there that he learns as a human being a Kryptonian, he reflects the best in humanity, is so that even being super powerful, he is extremely human. James Gunn hit the nail on the head in message and what Superman stands for. Villains of the movie. I will talk about him, Lex Luthor, how good it is to have a villain with a good adaptation. The Lex Luthor of this film is a beating of quality and fidelity on the previous one. It's just perfect. A smart guy, psychopath who does everything to pass as the good guy. Obsessed with greatness, and much of his hatred comes from Superman. He believes that Superman takes the spotlight off him. It says that a person must fight to get what he wants. That nothing is won in effort, so he sees the Superman, this kind figure that emerged from nothing, and is already known. Beloved, considered a hero, and that's why this obsession's so great. The point of him creating a war for Superman to intervene and have a motive against him and arrest him, this is the Lex Luthor of arrogant, narcissist, egocentric who does everything to stop the Superman. That well-made adaptation of the character, Nicholas Holt's, a performance show here. The way he brings this guy obsessed with Superman and doing everything to destroy him is definitely incredible. Has some parts that leave to be desired, but it is still very good. Now let's talk about the engineer. Seriously, for me she is mad in this movie. The way they represented it with the nanites is really good. Drowned Superman with his nanites in the lung is fantastic, and the Ultraman, he is revealed as a Superman clone created by Lex Luthor that went through the hammer of Baravia so that the Superman no longer involved in the war. And that was the first defeat of Superman since he appeared. The end, we see that the Ultraman was pushed into the black hole of the Rift in Metropolis. Has theories saying that he will come back as the Bizarro and create the planet Bizarro. Would be very interesting if this really happened. The film is good. The film is a huge success, with already 550 million raised worldwide so far, with a good reception at Rotten Tomatoes. And James Gunn is already writing the sequence with Superfamilia in the film. Very likely should be Superman and Supergirl together. In my opinion, the film is very good with the characters. As I said, each character does something in the plot. One of the best Superman movies, and not the best. Have some cliches from the Superman movies. Is a very dynamic and colorful fun movie, with a very Spider-Man 2002 vibe. Is a universe hero, already consecrated, and makes us wonder what would be the Flash. Wonder Woman, or even the Batman in this universe. Just imagine the Justice League and Justice Hall interacting. Is definitely a universe that has a lot of potential. The next film is Supergirl's movie, that after his scene taking the Krypton my hype increased even more. Definitely a universe with the potential to clash head-on with that of Marvel. References and details. Recently came out a photo of the costume of the Superman in the iconic underwear, and really it seems that there is something missing. It's very strange. And then the Fortress of Solitude robots that were adapted from All Stars Superman. The Hammer of Baravia attacks a marketing meeting of the cookies Choco, the favorites of the Martian Man, and on Clark Kent's table we can see that he has a poster of his favorite band, Mighty Crabjoys. This team is Planet Watch that does not exist in the comics, but it can be a reference to Stormwatch. Lois interviews Clark, with him calling her Klunkite, a famous journalist. In the truck they are releasing Baby Kaiju is written, a reference to Vincenzo Falcone of Gotham City. Lois see a matter of Superman fighting against the Kaiju, and that reporter is Christopher Reeve's son. Will Reeve? In the city we have an advertisement for Zesty Cola, the favorite soda of Michin Clark's apartment. We see a newspaper interviewing the Peacemaker. In the pocket dimension we see that Lex uses mind-controlled monkeys to speak ill of Superman on the internet. Seriously genial. In the Hall of Justice, Guy Gardner talk about Clark's hypnotic eyeglasses to get into people's minds and change the way people see him. On the walls we see several heroes of the Justice Society. How Madame Xanadu, Bullet Girl, TNT, and Dan the Dynamite, Sandman, Lady Ghost, Silent Knight, Atomic Knight, Freedom Best, Panther Vibe, Max Mercury, Zatara Black Pirate, Amazing Man, and in the direct corner the Max Load. When the city is being evacuated, we see a sign of Gotham City on the left. In the end, Lex Luthor is imprisoned at Belle Reve Prison, who already has Cersei imprisoned there. And in the end, the Supergirl appears in the fortress asking for the Krypton back. And liked the video. Do not forget to give the like and subscribe the channel. Thank you for watching.